Hello everyone. In this session, we'll focus on understanding how to set up charges in the Onfinity ERP system. The agenda is to walk through the setup process and understand the relevance of charges in business processes. The objective is to understand charges and their associated terms, especially in the context of transactions that do not affect inventory. The prerequisite is to have a configured tenant in your environment. Organizations must be created, and an accounting book must be configured. Let's understand what a charge is. A charge refers to a non-product financial cost or revenue item recorded directly in transactions such as purchase invoices, sales invoices, bank statements, or journal entries. It allows the recording of financial impact without any effect on inventory. Examples include trade charges, customs duty, installation charges, penalty charges, consulting fees, and insurance recovery. Log in with a valid username and password. On the landing page, various mosaics will be visible. It is normal if no data is displayed, as this is a newly created tenant, and only master data setup is being performed. To access the charge master, search directly using the menu utility, or navigate through Master Data Management under Product Management to locate the charge master. To create a new charge, click on New Record. It is recommended to select the star organization. If the star organization is not visible, it may be because the login is with a specific organization such as Sonic Ventures. Remove the filter to proceed. Create the new record, ensuring that the charge is applicable to both organizations. Select the star organization so that the newly created charge will be available for all organizations for the transactions. Enter the charge code, or let the system generate it automatically. Provide the charge name, for example, freight expenses. If the charge is specific to a vendor or customer, select the respective business partner. Add an optional description, and select the relevant tax category. It is recommended to associate a relevant tax category. If a fixed amount is associated with the charge, it can be entered so that it pulls automatically during transactions. A print description can be entered if the charge needs to be printed in the transaction format. Select the appropriate charge type. For charges related to amortization, select amortization. For leave claims, select the respective option. For contra entry, indemnity, inventory expense, or loan, choose accordingly. Inventory expense is typically generated by the system, but it can be renamed if needed. For POS check expenses, this is applicable only if the POS module is enabled. For ticketing systems, select ticket if applicable. If the charge is general and applicable across transactions, choose Others. Additional classifications include travel charges, spare part expenses, and advance charges. Advance charges are used for prepayments such as customer or vendor prepayments. Mark the charge accordingly. Once the charge is saved, the system automatically pulls accounting details from the accounting book. To modify revenue or expense ledgers, click on Toggle and then Parameter Combination to make changes. Link the appropriate ledger codes from the chart of accounts to the charge. It is not mandatory to enter both revenue and expense codes unless the charge will be used on both the receivable and payable sides. For example, office rent may be recorded as either an expense or income, depending on the context. Set up the relevant codes accordingly. If commitment accounting is enabled, the charge commitment ledger code can also be specified. If the ledger code is not available, it must be created first before linking. To create a customer or vendor prepayment charge, enable advance charge and define it as needed. Similarly, custom cost charges can be created. Set the accounting tab and ledger codes appropriately. This completes the charge setup process. That was all for this session. Thank you for attending.